Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most satisfying deaths of despicable villains in video games. As such, there will be a whole lot of spoilers, so you've been warned.
We trade one villain for another.
Number 30, Raymond Schizo Sarkazy, Days Gone.
Except now Schizo tells me we may have lost 2 men on the inside.
Hey, I never said that, Mike.
Well, look, give me the map, I'll go get the explosives and
Mike,
I'll
hey,
people
Will.
inside. What the hell is going on?
You may trust him, Mike, but I don't.
From the moment Schizo shows up on screen, it seems he was written specifically for us to hate him. He's supposed to be an ally, but constantly bumps heads with Deacon, causing a lot more trouble than necessary. Even though he works security for Iron Mike's camp, the only thing he seems to care about is proving how much better he is than Deacon. He turns to villainy by betraying you twice, which then leads to Mike's death. Hunting him down is one of the more satisfying moments from Days Gone. During a struggle, you turn his own knife against him, and before Deacon finishes him off, he gives a short but sweet speech about how much he'll enjoy it. Us too, Deacon.
There was a time when I would have dragged you out into the shed. And I would have left you to the freeze. Hey. I'm not gonna do that. You wanna know why? Because they would tear you limb from limb. But you know what? They wouldn't enjoy it.
Number 29, Dr. Angus Bumby, Alice Madness Returns.
I want to forget. Who would choose to be alone, imprisoned by their broken memories?
I'll set you free, Alice. Memory is a curse more often than a blessing.
So you've said many times.
We've seen Twisted Shrinks before, but this guy is horrific. Dr. Angus Bumby is a child psychiatrist who uses hypnosis to erase traumatic memories. This leaves his patients somewhat catatonic so he can sell them into prostitution. And it gets worse. He also assaulted Alice's sister and set fire to her family's house, killing them in an act that Alice thought was her fault. When Alice confronts him, Bumby mocks her, claiming that no one would believe someone as crazy as her over someone as respected as him. That's probably true, and so Alice pushes him in front of a train. Someone as awful as him arguably deserves something less quick, but it's still satisfying to see Alice take him out. Number 28, Vas Montenegro, Far Cry 3.
Because you two white boys, you look very expensive. And that's good because I like expensive things. I'm sorry, what did you say? What did you say? Did you want me to slice you open like I did your friend?
Vas Montenegro is still considered by many to be the best character in the Far Cry series. But there's no denying his villainy. He kills your brother, tortures your friends, holds you captive, nearly kills you multiple times, and generally screws with your head. When protagonist Jason finally gets a chance to end things, Vas sets a trap. It takes a whole lot of fighting to reach him. And even then, the confrontation takes place during a strange, dreamy sequence where you take out multiple versions of him. Upon reaching the real him, Jason stabs him multiple times in the chest. Although you miss his presence throughout the rest of the game, we can't say he didn't deserve it.
I won.
Number 27, Rafe Adler, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
It's amazing. All these years gone by, here we are, we're still haggling over dead people's junk.
Really? Aren't you running your parents' business?
My business now.
We love a poetic end to a villain, which is just what Rafe gets. The only reason he's able to stay on the tails of the Drake brothers is because of his family's wealth. He's never earned anything for himself. All his knowledge of a grand pirate treasure is because of Nate and Sam, and all of his resources come from his hired mercenary group Shoreline. Yet, he acts entitled to even more fortune, seeing it as a way to leave his own mark, even though the hard work was done by everyone else. So it's fitting that he refuses to give up the fight while a ship full of treasure burns around him and he's crushed by more than his weight in gold. Number 26, Ravenbeak, Metroid Dread. Once a respected warrior, Ravenbeak slaughtered his own people and planned to control the Metroids to bring order to the galaxy. Pretty evil stuff. But on a personal level, he also manipulated Samus by pretending to be her AI. And he reprogrammed a group of killer robots to hunt her throughout Dread so that he could clone the Metroid DNA within her. The fight against him is also ridiculously difficult, but that only adds to the sweetness when Samus is victorious. When it seems he has the upper hand, Samus lets out an impressive roar of anger and drains the life from him. He then fuses with an X-Parasite, but Samus unleashes a mighty blast, completely annihilating him. Number 25. Lionel Starkweather, Manhunt.
Now only you can hear me, and that's the way you're gonna want it, because I'm your only way out of here. Hey!
It's always satisfying to hear a loathsome villain beg for their life. Lionel Starkweather is the creator of snuff films, selling them on the black market. And as a death row inmate, you're promised freedom if you can survive everything he throws at you. Gangs and sadistic killers. But Starkweather never plans to stick to his word. He even goes as far as to kidnap your family in some kind of twisted way of turning you into his greatest star. When you finally get close to him, he flees and tries making deals for you to spare him.
Don't start thinking you're somebody, Cash, because you're not. I'm your only way of making any of this good, Cash. Think about it.
It's karmic justice that you get to finish him off with one of his minions' own chainsaws. Number 24. Mecha Hitler, Wolfenstein 3D. There's very little emotional investment or moving narrative with this particular death. Just the sheer thrill of knowing you just blew the Führer into bloody pieces. Effortlessly effective in its premise, the very idea of having to enter a firefight with a Hitler who happens to be armed with a mecha suit is just too hilarious not to be a fun time. After gunning your way through endless amounts of Nazis and undead mutants, you finally come to the Pista de Resistance, unloading clip after clip until the leader of the Third Reich is packed with so much lead he practically melts. Classic. Number 23. Uberto Alberti, Assassin's Creed 2.
Trusted friend of the Auditore family. According to the history books, this guy was a saint.
Karma truly does come back to bite you in the ass, or in this case, stab you multiple times in the chest with a hidden blade. Once a friend to the Auditore family, this member of the Templar Order betrayed his friends and arranged the public executions of Ezio's family for the sake of his financial well-being. Regardless of whether he regretted his actions or not afterwards, he doesn't have much time to dwell on it as Ezio soon takes his vengeance by assassinating him in public. Guess money can't save you from everything after all.
You would have done the same to save the ones you love.
Yes, I would. And I have.
Number 22. Thaddeus Campbell, Dishonored.
This is your final chance, Corvo. Sign the confession and let me give you the rights to put your spirit at ease.
Thaddeus Campbell is one of several people responsible for Corvo Attano being framed for his Empress's murder, imprisoned, and labeled as a traitor. Thankfully, it isn't long before Corvo escapes, and the justice he eventually brings to Campbell is very rewarding. Once you track Campbell down, there are a variety of ways you can dispose of him. However, as revealed in the sequel, his canonical fate is that Corvo knocks him out and uses the Heretic's brand on his face, a symbol that gets him sundered and cast out. This leads to him contracting the rat plague, which, as the game tells us, leads to an incredibly slow and gruesome death. Yeah, couldn't have happened to a better guy. Number 21. Pandak Baby Panay, Just Cause 2.
I am going to control the whole world.
No matter how many times we do it, there's just no feeling quite like taking out a brutal dictator who considers himself untouchable. Despite ruling over the island of Panay with plenty of military might on his back, it becomes clear that Panay has lost control of the situation given the amount of insurgency groups rising to take control of the islands for themselves, something we and Rico Rodriguez are happy to assist in. In the most Hollywood of clashes, Panay and Rico exchange blows while on top of a missile, which the dictator ultimately loses, leaving him on a one-way ticket to Boomtown. Number 20. The Prophet of Truth, Halo 3.
Can you see, Arbiter? The moment of salvation is at hand. It will not last.
The Covenant of Halo is an overarching group of villainous aliens trying to commit genocide against humanity, and the Prophet of Truth was one of its most prominent members, holding a lot of power and influence over the others. As if genocide wasn't bad enough, he also treated the Arbiter like his own twisted errand boy to accomplish his goals. The Prophet of Truth branded him with a mark of shame and forced him to go on missions with little chance of survival. Eventually, he would come to regret those decisions. In Halo 3, he was infected by the Flood, a parasitic race, before being run through by the Arbiter's blade.
I am truth, the voice of the Covenant. So, you must be silenced.
Number 19. Handsome Jack, Borderlands 2.
You want to stop the greatness that is Handsome Jack?
There could not be a more fitting end to the CEO of the Hyperion Corporation and would-be ruler of Pandora. As the Vault Hunter, you've had to endure Jack's non-stop taunts, death threats, and bouts of insanity throughout the entire game. And while his selfish nature is ridiculously entertaining, it still feels so good to obliterate his plans and watch him give his final complaints. You can either listen to him ramble about how he's the hero that Pandora deserves, or just shoot him there and then. Not so handsome anymore, huh, Jack? Number 18. Devin Weston, Grand Theft Auto 5.
And I'm telling you that I don't give a flying fuck.
After spending so much time with our three majorly flawed protagonists and overcoming insurmountable odds together, who honestly could choose anything but option C for the game's finale? Out of all the douchebags that Franklin, Michael, and Trevor have come across, Devin stood out as the worst. Far too rich for his own good, spineless, and as veiny as they come, the boys finally got their revenge after kidnapping him, locking him in the trunk of a car, and pushing him off the edge of a cliff. It may not be the bloodiest of endings, but the buildup is so pitch perfect that by the time the car heads over the edge, it's almost beautiful. Number 17. Andrew Ryan, Bioshock.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow?
The death of Andrew Ryan is a complicated one. His ideology and actions played a huge role in the downfall of Rapture, his underwater would-be utopia. And he sends countless goons after you as soon as you step foot there. While you're being manipulated by Atlas to go after Ryan, there's no denying he gets what's coming to him. When you make it to his office, he willingly gives his life after revealing your true origins as his illegitimate, genetically aged son, brainwashed as a sleeper agent. It's one of the greatest twists in video games, and Ryan refuses to die without dealing a final blow to his enemy's plans, using your trigger phrase to coax you into savagely beating him with a golf club.
Obey!
Number 16. Odin, God of War Ragnarok. The pain caused by Odin is so widespread, we hear all about it in the 2018 game before we meet him in Ragnarok. He's a master manipulator, he cursed Freya to be stuck in Midgard, tortured Mimir for years, and he led the near genocide of the giants. In Ragnarok, he disguised himself as Tyr to create strife between Kratos and Atreus, murdered Brock when he caught on, and murdered Thor, his own son, for disobeying him. It was incredibly satisfying to pummel him in the final fight, where Atreus trapped his soul within a spiritual stone, which was smashed by Sindri as revenge for Brock. Even better, he died never getting any of the answers he sought. Number 15. Irene Engel, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus.
So ein böser Junge mit einer Waffe? Loslassen! Loslassen!
Taking down a souped-up version of one of the most evil people in history is ridiculous fun, but Irene Engel is genuinely chilling, making it all the more satisfying when you're finally rid of her. In each of her scenes, her gliad acts of violence and cruelty gets under our skin. Towards the beginning, she beheads one of BJ's closest allies and chops off the arm of another. Later, she shoots another ally trying to rescue you before having BJ beheaded on national TV. Through some sci-fi shenanigans, BJ is revived and tracks Engel down on a talk show. He swiftly delivers a hatchet to her face before he and his allies deliver a message of war to the world at large. Number 14. General Shepard, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. He might think of himself as a patriot, but the actions of this one soldier are pretty far removed from the American dream. After losing his faith in his nation following the deaths of 30,000 unrecognized soldiers, Shepard sought to escalate the strife between the US and Russia in order to bring about World War III. To this extent, he goes as far as to kill members of his own task force, including Ghost and Roach. It all culminates into a final confrontation to avenge your fallen comrades, with one of the most satisfying knife throws ever. Number 13. William Carver, The Walking Dead Season 2.
And how is it that we're repaid for our trust? With treachery? With deceit?
Survival is everything, though some individuals choose to take it too far. As Clementine ventures into the undead-infested world, she and her new group find themselves in the clutches of Carver, the merciless leader of a sanctuary whose disciplinary actions often led to someone either dying or getting horribly maimed. Just ask Kenny. However, he doesn't stay on top for very long. As the sanctuary is overrun with walkers, Kenny decides to get even by breaking apart Carver's skill with a crowbar. Whether you want to stay and watch the brutality is up to you, but either way, it's a truly messy way to go. And we loved it. Number 12. GLaDOS, Portal.
Congratulations. Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart.
She is one of video games' greatest villains, and the fact that her defeat left you feeling wholly satisfied as a result just adds to her psychotic appeal. Throughout the various lethal tests you had to endure, GLaDOS has been there mocking you every step of the way. Always trying to get you killed, lying about the cake, messing with your companion cube. By the time we reached the heart of the Aperture Science facility, we were done being petrified and ready to put this AI in her place. After melting her various AI cores, we could only watch and delight as the machine with a god complex faced the reality of losing, at least until Portal 2.
You know her?
It's been a long time. How have you been?
Number 11. Imlerith, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
I'm here alone.
A lie which will change nothing.
Out of all the members of the Wild Hunt, this was the one we were most looking forward to driving a sword through. Not only did this elf relentlessly chase after Ciri, but his participation in the Battle of Kaer Morhen led to the death of Geralt's mentor and father figure, Vesemir. As you can imagine, we were ready for a sword-swinging showdown. And while Imlerith's strength is undeniable, he's still not powerful enough to survive a fire blast to the face. Guess that's what happens when you mess with a Witcher. Number 10. Maester Seymour, Final Fantasy X.
Unpleasant. Very well. I will give you your death. You seem to want it so.
Have you ever met that villain that just doesn't know how to stay dead? Yeah, well, Seymour's that guy. After learning of his treachery, Titus and his party go to kill him and end up being branded traitors. Then he reappears alive, now getting married to Yuna, and kills one of Aaron's friends in the process, where you fight him again. But he's still alive, and then he wipes out Kamari's tribe on his third life. His tyranny finally comes to an end inside Sin when Yuna provides him with a long overdue sending.
Yuna, you would pity me now?
Number 9. Zeus, God of War 3.
Taking pity on you has been my greatest mistake, Kratos. Just as taking pity on this thing will prove to be your greatest mistake.
After succumbing to Zeus's betrayal in God of War 2 with the Blade of Olympus draining his power, Kratos gets the opportunity to give the King of Gods the beatdown of his life. Oh yeah, and did we mention Zeus was Kratos' father? And that he led to the deaths of Kratos' mother and brother? Talk about family dysfunction. After stabbing him rather fittingly with the Blade of Olympus, Kratos follows up by finishing him with his bare hands. As our screens filled with blood, we were in awe of Kratos' desire for bloodshed against the father who caused him so much misery. Number 8. Shao Kahn, Mortal Kombat 11.
Surrender on the brink of victory. You're as feeble-minded as Jared.
King Jared, the father you murdered and stole me from.
Shao Kahn is a villain who needs no explanation. He's been kicking our butts since his debut as the final boss in Mortal Kombat 2. His defeat in Mortal Kombat 11 is wholly satisfying since it leads to Kitana, the true heir of Outworld, claiming her throne. But his actual death in the Aftermath DLC is a sight to behold. He teams up with his old allies Sindel and Shang Tsung to cause more trouble. But the sorcerer ends up betraying Shao Kahn and Sindel, sucking out both their souls and leaving them as harmless husks. Shao Kahn caused a lot of pain and suffering, so it was nice to see his plans blow up in his face in such a way. Number 7. Frank Tenpenny, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I'll take that, Hernandez.
Hey, that's my paper, man. That's money.
This is drug money.
It's my money, man.
It never got more crooked than the crooked police of Los Santos, although the definitive centerpiece of the unruliness was no other than Officer Frank Tenpenny. Through extortion and blackmail, Tenpenny pulled the strings to the dirty doings of the city, exclusively using protagonist CJ as his personal pawn. In Tenpenny's effort to escape Los Santos, he was thwarted by CJ in a desperate car chase. Crashing and running over an overpass, the broken and battered Tenpenny suffered a slow, pitiless death.
I took the trash out. I did. And I do it all again.
Number 6. David, The Last of Us.
Name's David. This here's my friend James. We're from a larger group. Women, children. They're all very, very hungry.
David leads a faction of cannibals and comes across Ellie in an infected ambush. Upon discovering his ill intentions, Ellie attempts to escape, but later finds herself locked in an old abandoned building with him alone. And worse, it's implied that he intends to be predatory towards her. Maneuvering herself quietly to escape, Ellie must play the creepiest game of hide-and-seek we've ever encountered. In a final desperate struggle, Ellie breaks free and hacks away at his face with his own machete. On top of his demise, it's also a relief to see Ellie survive what was clearly a traumatic experience.
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
No.
Number 5. Micah Bell, Red Dead Redemption 2.
There I was, having a dull day only for you, to liven it up by letting me help you shoot up half a town.
You're a funny fella, Arthur. Real funny.
He shot up a whole town just for the sheriffs confiscating his guns. He acted as a mole within Dutch's gang for the Pinkertons, resulting in the gang falling apart. And he killed Arthur. Micah is the worst. Eventually, John Marston and Sadie Adler track Micah down to the mountains, but in a last-minute reveal, Dutch is with Micah as the two are supposedly rebuilding the gang. Yet, thanks to John's smart wits, Micah gets a reward that only a traitor deserves. Even better, you get to deliver the final blow. Number 4. Vladimir Makarov, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
What happens here today will change the world forever. Nothing can stop this. Not even you.
The overarching villain of the Modern Warfare trilogy and the leader of a terrorist group, Makarov has done some pretty horrendous things. He led a massacre against innocent civilians to start a war, he kidnapped the Russian president, and used his daughter to get his country to invade Europe. Oh, and it turns out he was responsible for that nuke in the first Modern Warfare game. Damn right this bastard deserves to die. He's eventually killed by Captain Price in a brutal scene where he's beaten through a glass roof and hung by a straight cord. Now that's justice. Number 3. Mr. X, Resident Evil 2. Sorry, Nemesis, you've been dethroned. While you were satisfying to pump full of lead in the original, the remake turned you into a joke. But as it turns out, there was someone else worthy of the crown for one of the best Resident Evil games in recent years. Throughout your time at the police station, this walking indestructible tank will track you down to no end, causing a lot of fear and anxiety within the player. But stick through Leon's campaign and you'll eventually get a chance to take him down, but not before taking him on in one of the toughest battles in the Resident Evil series. That's why it's so damn sweet to blast him off his feet. Number 2. Edgar Ross, Red Dead Redemption.
Do I know you? Forgive me for startling you, sir. I have a message for you. My name is Jack Marston. You knew my father.
The man who kidnapped John Marston's wife and son in order to use John to take out his old gang was a clear no-brainer. It was bad enough that John was forced to do the government's dirty deeds. It was worse when Ross tried to later have John and his family killed to cover up his actions. Although John sacrificed his life to ensure his wife and son escaped, witnessing his son loading Edgar up with rounds and seeing him rot in his own filth was the perfect conclusion to this Wild West tale.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Ganondorf, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
That is what a king must do.
In Breath of the Wild, we saw how much misery Calamity Ganon caused, the destruction of Hyrule and the deaths of untold numbers, including Link and Zelda's closest friends. In Tears of the Kingdom, we got more detail on the man at its core. Ganondorf murdered Queen Sonia, stealing her secret stone to transform into the Demon King. He then led an army of monsters, bringing desolation to every corner of the kingdom. His death toll is likely higher than any other villain on this list. That's part of what makes this game's ending so momentous. Seeing him lose his mind by turning into a dragon only to still fail and go out in an exceptional explosion is almost too fantastic to describe. Which video game villain were you glad to dispose of? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity